one red, pour out the Jameson for ancestors to swig.
You rescue me yet again. You put me first everywhere. You make me feel better than the mother dudes. You rescue me yet again. You put me first everywhere. You make me feel better than the mother dudes.
And one of the biggest things that we don't want to do is help our communities. A lot of us don't want to help our communities because they don't see, they feel, they're most black people I know are money hungry individuals. Period. Their mentality is I'm trying to get to the bag. I'm trying to get some money. I'm trying to be, you know what I'm saying? All their focus is money, money, money. So when you talk about giving back to the community, you talk about giving now. So now I'm not making, but I'm giving. And I think for a lot of people that's something that they don't see being very profitable for them. Like I can't pay my rent off of, giving back to the community. Well, that's not true. Depends on how you give back to the community, and depends on which ways you go about giving back to the community. But one thing I'm gonna say, and then I'm gonna let them keep going. But if you look around at all the successful millionaires, billionaires in this country, black and white, they all have one thing in common: businesses. Okay, most of them have businesses. But there's another thing that these millionaires and billionaires have in common as well. They all have nonprofit foundations. Okay, they all have foundations that they can use to give back to their community. So one reason why we're not able to do the things in the community that we would probably like to do and that we should be doing is because we don't have enough people willing to start nonprofit organizations and actually get out here and help these kids and help their community. But once again, I don't fault them for that, because you have to make a living, you have to pay your rent, you have to pay your bills. And a lot of people don't see community outreach or nonprofit organizations being, they're being able to take care of them. But I can also say their mentality is probably more focused on money, not really giving back. And me personally, I've had my nonprofit for over a year now, and I can say that I'm not in it for the money. Like, I'm not in it to be the next. I don't know. Like, I just like giving back to my community. The reason I started my nonprofit was actually because I was just tired of hearing people talk. And I'm talking about, these are people in my circle. These are black men in my circle. We're sitting around, we're talking about the issues going on in the black community. And, and that's it. Like, we're just talking about it. We're not giving no resolutions. We're not saying we're going to help the community. We're not saying we're going to do something to assist with this situation. No, we just sit back, talk about it, and then go back to working for, the white man. And I got tired of that. Not just working for the white man, definitely got tired of that. But I got tired of hearing black men and black women saying the same thing. Oh, we need to help her. We need to do this, and we need to do that. We need to do this. We need to do that. But nobody was doing anything. So I started my nonprofit because I was tired of talking, and I wanted to make some action. I wanted to do some things. I do want to get back to my community. I do want to help these young men and young ladies, have some direction in their life so that they can be successful when they get older, so they can not, get pulled over and shot and killed by cops, so that they can have an understanding of how this world really looks at them and how they should move through the world, because we can still be as successful as the next person. You just got to know how to do it, So that's the reason I started my nonprofit, is because, everybody talks a good game, but when it comes time to show and prove, a lot of people ain't gonna be there. So
slavery destroyed the spirit of independence in black people. Slavery destroyed the spirit of independence in African people. We want the government to save us from our children. I need y'all to hear what I'm saying right now. I need your third eye wide open. Black people in 21st century America wants the government to save them from the children they raised. You want the government to save you from the children you gave birth to. That is insane. That is insane.
It's bonkers.
That is, how you going to give birth to an entire community of black children, raise them the wrong way, educate them the wrong way, rear them the wrong way, socialize them the wrong way, and then when they get out of control, you tell the government, I need you and the racist police. I need you and the racist police to come into my community.
Help me with my son.
And save me from my children.
That's crazy.
That is insane.
Bonkers.
That is absolutely insane.
Bananas.
We don't want responsibility for nothing that involves the collective. That makes the Negro unique in American society.
It is.
You don't want no responsibility for nobody who looks like you except you and your children.
That's it.
You don't want responsibility for anyone who looks like you except your children.
That's it.
The epitome of selfishness. The next point relates to the concept of power sharing. Power sharing. Negroes in America are the only people in the country who believe in sharing power with other race groups. Let me say it again. No other group in this country is thinking about sharing power with another group. They're not trying to share.
Now, I'm going to push back on that just a little bit because, you know, it's funny because everything you just said is pretty much everything that you're saying now. Like, you just said that black people aren't trying to get back to their communities, and now you're saying that we don't stick together. Like, all this shit goes hand in hand, man. Like, period. If you don't have one, then more than likely you don't have the other. You know what I'm saying?
Political power. They're not trying to share financial power. They're not trying to share intellectual power, social power. No group, no race in America believes in power sharing. They believe in power accumulation. They believe in power domination. The European believes in power accumulation and domination. The Asian believes in power accumulation and domination. The Mexican, the Arab, the East Indian, the Latino, they believe in power accumulation and power domination. Negroes believe in power sharing. You want to share power with the whites. You want to share power with the Arabs. You want to share power with the Mexicans. You want to share power with the Chinese. You want to share power with the European Jews. You want to share power with the East Indians. Can I ask you a question? Can you show me any race in America that shares anything with the
black
people?
people?
Give me an example of power sharing in the black community. Excuse me, between races in this country or anywhere around the world. There's no such thing as interracial power sharing. There's interracial marriage. There's interracial sex. There's interracial babies. But there's no interracial power sharing. Nobody shares power with another race except politically uneducated black people. And you know why you're so interested in power sharing? Number one.
Well, I'm going to say the reason that we don't power share is because we ain't got no damn power. Okay? And unfortunately, a lot of times the power that we end up getting, guess where it's coming from? the government or the white man. So who can we share power with if we don't have any power? You know what I'm saying? Like, we can share with each other, but that's it.
You're scared of white folks. Number two, you have low racial self-esteem. Number three, you've been brainwashed by your religion. There we go. You've been brainwashed by your religion. There we go. You've been brainwashed by your religion. We're the only people in the country. Peculiar characteristics of the Negro psyche. We're the only people in the country. Peculiar characteristics of the Negro psyche. We're the only people in the country who let religion and our religious beliefs dictate our political economic behavior.
Facts.
Nobody else does that.
Facts.
Nobody else. I don't care.
Facts.
I don't care what the white man's Bible says about being a brother to every Christian. They don't follow that when it comes time to accumulate power. I don't care what the Arabs' Quran says about being a brother to humanity. They don't practice that when it comes time for power domination. I don't care what the European Jews' Torah says about being a brother to humanity. They don't practice that when it comes to power domination and accumulation. Only black folks will let a 2,000-year-old book, a 1,500-year-old book, a 5,000-year-old book dictate how you interact with your enemies in the 21st century. That makes you an imbecile. That makes you a fool. That makes you a political moron. Who in their right mind, living in the 21st century, living in the 21st century, you're going to let your political and economic behavior in the 21st century get dictated by a book that was written in the 1st century or the 6th century? You're out of your mind. You are out of your mind. You don't let a religious book from 2,000 years ago dictate how you deal with other people in the 21st century.
Facts.
I'm just giving you the facts.
Definitely agree with that.
If you don't like the message of Pan-Africanism, hop off the live. If you don't like the message of Pan-Africanism, hop off the live. See, I don't watch nobody else's lives because ain't nobody talking about nothing I want to hear. I go live to educate. I don't go live to talk about people's personal business. I don't go live to try to character assassinate nobody. I don't go live to talk about sports. I don't go live to talk about rap. I don't go live to talk about celebrity gossip. I go live to raise the consciousness of African people. Stop letting your religion rule your political and economic decisions.
Facts.
If you need the Bible and the Quran to give you permission to fight for black people, you deserve to be taken advantage of. If you need a religious book to give you permission to fight for your people, you deserve to be taken advantage of.
Facts. Big facts. So, we're going to end it there. Got a part 2 coming up, of course, because he did this for about an hour, just going on and on. But he definitely made some good points there. We don't have any racial ego. No one has to defeat the African people. We're the only ones who believe in power sharing. And, of course, in my opinion, probably the biggest takeaway from this is brainwashed by religion. Oh, my goodness. Religion has to be one of the biggest downfalls of our culture. I hate to say it, and I know people are going to be like, you tripping, you don't know, God is this, God is that. No, I'm sorry. Religion has to be the biggest thing that has put us in the position that we're in. Believing that book, okay? Believing that if somebody does you wrong, you turn the other cheek. You know, forgive everybody. You know, show everybody love. Everybody this, everybody this, everybody. It's just, there's no specifics on how our culture or how black people should be moving. This is a book wrote by a white person given to us during slavery to help control us. But until this day, there are black men and women who will argue that point with you. They will literally argue with you that the Bible wasn't made to control black people. The Bible isn't a tool for oppression. And these are the people that still get up and probably go to church every Sunday and tithe their money every Sunday and see that their money goes to private jets and designer clothes and things of that nature. As well as, shit, we just seen a preacher last week, he died and went to hell. So you going to church following some preacher thinking that he the light, he gonna go to heaven, and he going to hell. So what is we doing? Why is we following this fake religion? Spirituality is what I'm into. I was born and raised a Christian, and ever since I was little, I always had an issue with Jesus being white. I always had an issue with Jesus. Every time I seen him hanging up in the church, and shit, he was hanging up in our houses, okay? And I used to just be like, who the fuck is this guy? And why we have a picture of this nigga hanging up? You know, if we didn't have a picture of him, you know, white Jesus in the house, we had the cross with him hanging on the cross in the house. And it's like, yo, why we got all this scary shit in the house? You know what I'm saying? Like really, like, if I was to go outside at night and it was raining and thunderstorming and I was to see a guy hanging on the cross, like, I would be scared to death. I'm keeping it a buck. I'd be like, what the hell is going on here? But that's just me. But yeah, religion is, they've used that against us, and it's so ingrained in our community and in our grandparents, okay, as well as in some of our parents, that until we get away from that, and when I say get away from it, I mean get away from it completely. Stop believing in it. Stop believing that somebody's going to come and save you. Stop believing that there's a afterlife after this, okay? You better get what you can get here right now, okay? Because nobody knows what's after this, okay? And the fact of the matter is, you know, the ideology is, you know, you do all these good things on earth now, and you make all these sacrifices on earth now so you can go to heaven and the end and live in heaven forever. I don't believe that, okay? Because in my opinion, the things that I like to do, I don't even see people doing in heaven. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see, like, it's some stuff that I like to do that they ain't doing in heaven. You know what I mean? So I just don't really get the whole heaven thing, as well as hell. Like, you go to eternity for, like, it's all used to scare you and frighten you into doing what they tell you to do. It's all used as a form of control. And we've been controlled by it for centuries now. And unfortunately, until we break out of that, we're still going to have a lot of people out here running behind these white folks, kissing their butts, forgiving them for all the things that they do and all that crazy stuff because of a book. So just keep that in mind. Appreciate the love. Make sure you guys click the link in the bio, www.blackfathersofcleveland.com. You go to our website, see some of the things that we've been doing in the community. Really appreciate the love. Peace. What's going on? Peace.